Who's this Deku, and why do all the pros want to adopt him? By 80sGayTrashGoblin. Chapter 17, Getting Ready for the Gala. After only a month, things seem to have settled down. Izuku has been going to therapy every week with Hound Dog, and he seems to be getting better. There were a few bumps in the road, like Keigo having to enforce a bedtime and get rid of the coffee machine. Overall, it has gotten better. Izuku's bedroom has been fully redecorated, and a few more bird-themed decorations made their way into the apartment. Izuku's schooling was all online, so most of the time he hung out with the other heroes. He spent a lot of time at the Aerie Jr. Keigo wasn't a name guy, sue him. And UA. But he also spent time at Rumi's agency, Katsubutsu Academy, and Sir Night-Eye's agency. He was making bank helping sidekicks improve and solving cases. Keigo would even be proud of him if he stopped fucking up his sleep schedule. Would be even more. Keigo himself had cut down on patrols, spending more time getting his teaching license. He and Netsu struck a deal where he'll be spending the next 10 months doing a fast-tracked course of the class we're learning. In the next year, he could be an assistant to one of the heroics teachers. He was also funneling information to Nezu, holding up his end of the bargain. Hound Dog still hasn't given them the green light to tell Izuku about his mom's body. There's been no activity from the villains since, although Nezu's digging unearthed the fact that they had been stealing bodies before this. Unfortunately, the case has gone cold, so they can only wait. "Hey, Keigo!" Izuku shouted, stomping back into the apartment. Keigo looked up from where he was apparently lounging on the couch, taking over his spot where he was working. Izuku's analysis papers were all moved to the corner of the coffee table, and Keigo's stuff was now spread out instead. Did you just steal my spot?" Keigo stuck out his tongue, continuing to fill out some worksheet. Izuku rolled his eyes, throwing an envelope at his face. "Check your damn mail." Izuku continued to get the bills to his mailbox in the lobby of the apartment. But most of Izuku's mail as Deku and Keigo's mail from his hero work went to the P.O. box. Izuku took a morning run to the post office every day, because they get so much mail every day that he has to check it every day. He also gets the chance to get his daily Starbucks, away from the watchful eye of his brother. He's pretty sure his drink order puts the fear of Kami in the barista, though. Izuku snatched his papers, sitting down at the dining table. He opened the switchblade in his pocket, which he has for self-defense purposes. Aizawa Sam was teaching him how to use it, and he used it to open up the letters. He usually got commissions through the Hero Net these days, but some heroes are old-fashioned and send letters. Most of the letters were payment checks. Like the commissions, most heroes just send him money directly, but some still liked sending checks. And the rest were commission letters. Skimming the names, he mentally added a backdraft analysis, a case for Kamui Woods, and a case for Gunhead to his to-do list. He heard a very long "fuck" from Keigo, and looked up to find him sprawled over the side of the couch, the letter over his face. "What's the problem now?" Izuku called out, pulling out his planner and making notes. When were the bills due? When did cases need to be sent in? Where was he going to be babysat? When was he going to have time to take a nap? I forgot about the hero gala. Izuku looked up, raising an eyebrow. So? What do you mean, so? Keigo asked. I'm contractually obligated to be at every gala, and I have to look the best out of everyone there. Izuku snorted. Over the past month of living together, he learned that Keigo was a massive fashion diva. It's a hilarious contrast to Rumi, who will wear whatever she pulls out of her closet without any concern about how she looks, specifically to fuck with Keigo. It made sense. The man who spent an hour before patrol making sure his hair and makeup looked perfect was a fashion diva, and the woman who just rolls into her hero costume right before patrol doesn't care. Couldn't you just wear one of the outfits you have? Keigo gasped, like Izuku had said something scandalous. Wear something I already wore? Of course not. I have to make a splash every year. That means wearing something different. Izuku rolled his eyes. He wasn't going to convince Keigo. Well, have fun. Oh, no you don't. Keigo stood up, grabbing Izuku and picking him up with his feathers. If I'm going, you're going as well. Oh, come on! Izuku shouted, kicking his feet stubbornly. Can't I just go hang out with Aizawa-san? Keigo squinted his eyes suspiciously at him. Another thing that Izuku learned while living with him is that the man is very protective. A little too protective in Izuku's opinion. But to be fair, their first meeting wasn't the greatest. When Aizawa-san suggested getting Izuku a knife and teaching him self-defense, Keigo nearly had an aneurysm. If I have to suffer, so do you. Izuku groaned, resigning himself to going. Keigo continued to talk as he used his other feathers to drag over Izuku's shoes. And besides, there's gonna be other kids at the gala. It's good for, like, networking and shit. I don't want to talk to rich brats, Izuku muttered, crossing his arms stubbornly. Plus, I'm not good at peopling. Izuku, you know you're a rich brat, right? Izuku sputtered. You know what I mean. Look, if you want to get into the hero industry proper as an analyst, you're gonna have to learn how to handle parties, Keigo said, using his wings to drag his boots over to him. The man was apparently feeling lazy today. Besides, you can talk to heroes about analysis and cases all day. It's the same thing, just a party instead. Izuku rolled his eyes, tying his shoes and stuffing his phone into his pocket. He also grabbed the knife as Keigo finished pulling his boots on, apparently excited enough that he didn't even check the mirror to make sure he looked presentable. Not like you really needed to be presentable when you're just running errands, but whatever. Izuku wasn't the diva here. Come on, we've got to get ready. Keigo grabbed his arm, rushing them out of the apartment. He looked back longingly at the couch before he was pushed out of his own apartment, resigning himself to this fate. Hey, Hizashi, Yamiri. Keigo waved, Izuku still being dragged along grumpily. Yamada-san and Kayama-san were standing in front of the store, both in civilian wear. While Izuku and Keigo were stared at because of Keigo's distinctive wings, no one batted an eye at the two off-duty heroes. Thanks for coming out. Of course, Yamada-san responded. Anything for the little listener. We did our gala shopping weeks ago, but I understand being in a scramble. Kayama-san winked. And I'll never turn down any kind of shopping. Yamada-san shrugged. I'll just be wearing the same suit as always. If it works, you dig? Thank you! Izuku burst out. I don't understand wearing a different outfit for every occasion. Well, we need to get you a formal outfit in the first place, Keigo said. The closest thing you have is a shirt that says bow tie on it, and that will not stand. Izuku grumbled. I still don't understand why I can't just hang out with Aizawa-san. It'll be good for you, little listener, Yamada-san said. You need more friends your age, and I know Tensei's brother will be there. Izuku groaned, but let himself be led inside by the adults. The store was high-end, probably worth more money than he's seen in his life. I still don't think I need all this. Nonsense, the three adults chorused at the same time. Can I help you, sirs and ma'am? The clerk asked behind the counter. Sorry about that, y'all. Looking very confused. Hi, these two need the tailor, pronto, Kayama-san said, gesturing to him and Keigo. Of course, let me go get her. The clerk bowed, going into the back room. Kayama-san turned back to him and Keigo. Who's going first? Just a quick note, y'all. I'm going to be trying to be a little quieter. My mom just complained about me being loud. It's late at night. The little listener has no idea what he wants, Yamada-san said. Keigo should go in first so that he has time to decide. I'm right here, Zuku grumbled. No one listened to him. I already have an idea, Keigo said, his wings fluttering a little. I can go in first. Decision made just in time, as the clerk came back out with the tailor behind him. She was a short woman with what looked to be a spider quirk, 8 eyes with a monocle on each of them, and 2 fuzzy spider arms, alongside her regular pair of arms. But surprisingly, standing next to her was Bakugo Mitsuki? Everyone looked at each other in shock, as Izuku was standing there dumbfounded. Auntie Mitsuki came over to him. Mizu-chan, is that you? Hi, Auntie Mitsuki, he responded, a little sheepish. Oh, look at how you've grown. Auntie pulled him into a hug, pinching his cheeks as she did so. Coming in with 3 heroes. My little Izu-chan is moving up in the world. He was pretty sure his face was very red by now. Thanks, Auntie. She let him go, putting her hands on his shoulders and taking a real good look at him. When did you get glasses? They look really good on you. You look very mature. And are those bags under your eyes? Are you getting enough sleep? We're working on his sleep schedule, Bakugo-san. Keigo responded, all of a sudden very polite and respectful. But we are here for a reason. Of course, of course. Auntie stepped back, looking between the 4 of them. Have you decided who's going first? I will be, Keigo said. He wanted to give Izuku here a little bit of time to mentally prepare himself. Hey! Alright, get into the booth then. We don't have all day, Auntie said, going from overbearing Auntie to professionally feared Bakugo-san. Tsurande-san, can I join you in the booth? Of course, Mitsuki, Tsurande-san tittered, her mandibles clicking together. And Izuku really wanted to analyze her quirk, but he didn't have time, damn it. And we're friends.
You can call me Josephine.
The two ushered Keigo into the booth, closing it shut behind them. The clerk had already retreated back to the counter, flipping through what looked to be a calculus textbook, and Yamada-san and Kayama-san turned on him.
Your aunt is Bakugo Mitsuki?
Kayama-san asked incredulously. Izuku shrugged.
No, we're not related, but she and my mom were friends in college. I've known the Bakugos forever.
Yamada shuddered.
Somehow, seeing her be nice is scarier than seeing her be angry. No kidding.
Kayama-san also shivered.
She once yelled at me because the shade of purple I chose was too dark for my feather boa.
Izuku rolled his eyes.
Aren't you guys supposed to be helping me and not trauma bonding over my aunt?
Right. Yamada-san made a beeline over to the counter, plucking up one of the catalogs and bringing it to a bench. The clerk didn't even look up. Kayama-san followed him to the bench, and Izuku did the same.
So, take a look at this.
Yamada-san dumped the catalog into his lap and let him flip through it.
And tell us what stands out to you.
Izuku flipped open the catalog on his lap, and flipped another page, and another, and another. Everything blurred together. Words meaninglessly described differences that for the life of him he couldn't see. He didn't really know the different sleeve or label types. It all turned to static in his brain. He slowly closed the catalog and put it back in Yamada-san's hands. That was all gibberish to me.
Okay then. This is going to be harder than we thought.
The three of them looked up, and Keigo strutted out of the booth. He was wearing a bright red suit that was somehow eye-catching but not eye-burning, with a gold chain hooked on his jacket pocket. The shirt underneath was black, and he was wearing a dark brown tie with a gold hawk pendant on the tied part of the tie. Izuku didn't think that the earrings were necessarily part of the package, but nevertheless, gold dangle hoop earrings were on his earrings anyways. Plus his hands were absolutely covered in red and gold rings. Kayama-san and Yamada-san immediately ripped into him.
That is way too much bling. Why is your suit so bright?
Brown tie? Really?
Your suit is bright red and your tie is so boring. Your tie's boring, but you have a massive gold hawk with ruby eyes on your chest. Are you trying to get people to look at your tits?
Hey now, let's get the kid's opinion, Keigo said. Everyone looked at Izuku and he started to sweat.
It looks nice,
he said. He was not qualified for fashion opinions. See, he appreciates all my hard work, Keigo said with a smug grin.
Hey, I did the hard work around here,
Auntie Mitsuki said.
You came into the booth with a hideous idea, and I had to work with what made it look good.
But the tie...
The tie is brown and boring because we didn't want to clutter the eyes any more than necessary.
Auntie Mitsuki cut Yamada-san off.
But why that shade of brown?
Kayama-san asked. Izuku squinted at the tie harder and just saw it was brown.
The golden brown meshed nicely with the rest of the outfit,
Auntie responded.
Now, does anyone else have any more concerns about my masterpiece, or can I move on?
The two invested adults looked at each other, and then simply nodded. Auntie shooed Hawks back into the booth to get changed, and then knelt down to Izuku's level.
Do you have any ideas? Anything at all?
Izuku shook his head.
I looked at the catalog, but... Oh, that's the first mistake. The catalog gives you too many options.
Auntie looked him over appraisingly.
I'm presuming you don't want to stand out like your friends?
He balked, shaking his head quickly.
Please, no. That's fine. Is there anything at all I can work with? Oh.
Kayama-san pulled something out of her purse, and on further reflection, it turned out to be the first letter he ever sent. It was laminated, and at the bottom was his signature as Takiru, written in teal glitter gel pen with a little bunny doodled next to it. Izuku was sure he was bright red.
You carry that with you? I can work with this.
He was slightly afraid of the glimmer in his aunt's eyes.
Get into the booth.
Keigo drummed his fingers nervously on his lap, the bag with his stuff sitting next to him. He could hear muffled conversation coming from the booth, but he couldn't tell what it was about, and that made him nervous. Don't get him wrong, he really did trust the woman, but sue him for being a little protective.
Keigo's gonna be Keigo. He's gonna be fine.
He's all she said, lounging on the bench. He had returned the catalog by this point.
Yeah, Bakugo-san looks like she adores the kid.
Namiri punched him lightly on the arm.
I was more worried about you in the booth. I heard a lot of yelling. Makes me wonder what shade of red you tried to pick.
Hizashi snorted.
You're both assholes.
Keigo grumbled, and the other two started to laugh. The booth opened, and Keigo's jaw dropped open. Izuku still wore his glasses, with a little bit of makeup that brought out his freckles and covered up the bags under his eyes. He wore a dark greenish-blue vest and matching slacks, the vest having light blue labels that complemented the look. Underneath was a black dress shirt, rolled up to reveal silver cuffs, a subtle touch of bling. His tie was the same light blue as his lapels, and clipped over the knot was a glitter teal pin of the bunny that he uses as his Deku signature.
Wow,
Keigo said.
You look great. I'm almost convinced you're well rested.
Izuku rolled his eyes.
You dick. No, but seriously, you look amazing.
Namiri said.
You're so adorable. I could just pinch your cheeks.
The tip of his ears went red.
Please don't. The silver cuffs are a nice touch,
is all she said.
Finally, my artistry is appreciated,
Bakugo-san said smugly.
Isu-chan, get back in the booth so we can get that backed up for you. Alright, Auntie.
He responded, all but fleeing back into the booth. All three heroes pulled out their wallets at the same time. Bakugo-san simply waved them off.
No need to pay for Isu-chan's suit. I'll cover it. I'm just glad that he finally agreed to let me dress him in something fancy. But you're paying double for your suit.
Tsurundi pointed at Keigo.
I think your suit is worth more than his,
Namiri whispered. Keigo shrugged and handed over his debit card.
I'm glad you're taking care of him,
Bakugo-san said, something that was, dare you say it, almost soft.
I'm glad to know him. He's a real treat,
Namiri responded. Izuku peeked around the door, holding the bag in his arms and back in the shirt that says shirt on it.
Not that I don't like seeing you, Auntie, but can we please go home? I have to feed Shushi. Of course. Don't worry about the suit. It's already been paid for.
Bakugo-san pulled him into a hug.
Now remember what we talked about. If that hero guardian of yours hurts you in any way, let me know and I will shove lawsuits so far up their ass, that they will be tasting paper for days. I will, Auntie. Promise, Izuku said, panning his aunt's arm. As they left the store, parting ways with Nimiri and Hisashi, Keigo only had one thing on his mind. Well, two, but he always thought about fried chicken. What did you talk with your aunt about? Izuku just smiled slyly. Don't worry about it. Alright, y'all. I know this is a shorter chapter, but it is really late and I have class in the morning, so we're gonna go ahead and cut it here. But I will do my best to have a video up for you guys tomorrow or maybe the day after, depends on how much time I have tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. And having said that, I will see you guys in my next video. Ciao for now.